So my next talk is multilingual natural language processing using Python. So in this talk, let us look at the concepts related to the NLP and challenges in multi-source multilingual NLP, then tools for extracting information from various file formats, then extract information from web pages and source code, then methods to convert information to common language format. Then we'll see a very small case study. Of course, we don't have the code walkthrough. Then we'll conclude and we can take up some questions if there are any. So let us first look at the basic concepts of natural language processing. So the first concept is tokenization. So in tokenization, what we do is we tokenize paragraph to words and sentences. So you will get a very huge amount of information. We can't perform NLP directly on that. So first step is we need to tokenize it into words and sentences. Then remove the unwanted words, because that can save a lot of NLP effort. The next is word embeddings. In word embeddings, we basically can represent the words into vectors. So we cannot perform NLP or computation on the text. So that needs to be mapped to vectors. So vectors are basically the numbers. Then text completion. So in text completion, you can try to predict next few words from the given part of the sentence. Then sentence similarity. You can check how two sentences are close by computing the score. So there are some things such as cosine similarity. You can compute the cosine similarity on two sentences and tell how those two sentences are close. The next is normalization. So in normalization, transform the text into their canonical forms. The next is the transliteration and translation. So transliteration and translation, they may look similar, but they are totally different concepts. In translation, what happens is you convert the text given in language A into language B. Say, for example, English to Greek or English to Latin. Whereas in case of transliteration, it is totally different. So here you write text in language A using the script of language B script. Say, for example, you can try to write Greek script with English script, or you can write English script with Hindi script. The next is phonetic analysis. So in phonetic analysis, you try to determine how two characters sound. Then next is the syllabification. Here you convert the text into syllables. So here syllables are related to the pronunciation. So when we pronounce a word, we know that it can be divided into characters. But here we are not dividing the word into character. We are dividing it in terms of syllables. So when we convert it into syllables, it may be a group of character to pronounce even a single character. Then lemmatization. So convert the words into their root form. There is one more concept which is related to lemmatization, that is called as stemming. So in stemming, what we do is we remove last few characters from the word. Okay, so when we remove last few characters from the word, it may not be as accurate as lemmatization, because in lemmatization we are actually converting the word into its root form. The next is language detection. So when we are performing NLP on more than one languages, it becomes very important for us to detect the language of the words. Then next is the dependency parsing. So here we try to analyze the grammatical structure of a sentence. So we want to know what are the verbs, what are the nouns, and how they are related here. The next is named entity recognition. So here recognize the entities in text. So whether they are places or whether they are names or whether they are say nouns. Then in part of speech, we tag each and word in a sentence with a part of speech, whether it is a noun, whether it is a verb, and so on. Challenges in multilingual NLP. So we know that the language is ambiguous. A same sentence may mean different in different contexts. Languages have different structure, grammar, and order. Okay, so Western languages have got a different structure. Eastern languages such as Indian language have got a different structure and a different grammar rules. And some texts have been some text we can read from left to right, and some text we can read from right to left. and it is normally very hard to deal with mixed language information. So if you are a polyglot, that is the person who speaks or knows one or more than one language, you usually tend to mix the words of other language. Then translation from one language to another language is not accurate, because we know that the words mean different in different contexts. So you may get you may be able to translate the text from one language to another language, but it may not be 100%. So you may get to 80% or 90%. Then language semantics need to be taken into account. So that's the grammar. Then lack of libraries and features. Of course, there are many libraries, but they may not support all languages, or they may not support your own language. Say, for example, my mother tongue is Kannada, so I may not get the library which helps me to perform NLP on Kannada language. So in that case, I need to hard code many features. So that's a challenge. Then general flow of multi-source and multilingual information processing. So in this case, what happens is, let's assume that the information source or our information is available in various file formats and in various languages. So the information may be available in the form of text, audio, video, and image. So once you identify the information source, the next step is to extract the text. So there are libraries which will help us to extract the text from audio file, video file, image file. So once you extract the information, now you have all the information in the form of text. Then try to identify the language, because we know that the same information on particular news, it may be available in different languages. So in that case, the information may be same or it may not be same, we don't know. Okay, but it is very important to identify the language. So it to identify the language, you may need to perform the tokenization, because there will be a scenario where you will be having a paragraph, and that in that paragraph you may have words from different languages. So if you don't tokenize it, and if you try to identify the language, then you will be able to detect only the words from specific language. Then translate to source language. So after identifying the language, you go for translation, and again convert the entire text to a single language. Okay, so most probably you can translate it to English, because many tools are available there. Then process text. So in processing text, you can perform NLP tasks such as ranking the sentences, then extracting the top ranked sentences from the text, then perform n-gram analysis, and so on. So in case of summary generation, you will pick top sentences with high score. Okay, so once you identify these texts, so that will be your summary. Then final step will be to translate to a target language. So now you have generated the summary for English language. So you can convert it into Greek, Latin, or even Spanish, or any other language. Now to perform translation, you can use the library called as Google Trans. So it's free, and it is unlimited Python library that implemented the Google Translate API. So this uses Ajax APIs to make calls, and it is compatible with Python 3.6. It is fast and reliable. It supports auto language detection. Bulk translations are also possible. You can install it using a simple pip command. So if the source language is not given, Google Translate will attempt to detect the source language. So the first step is to import the translator module, then create the translator object, then use the translate method. So you can see here that there's the text, but the source language is not specified, but it can detect that it's a Korean language, and you can translate the source language into destination language by using the dest attribute. So here we want to translate the text from Korean language into Japanese language. Then you can also specify the source language. So in the last example, you can see that there's a text and the language of the source is the Latin. Now you can also specify or use the Google Translate domain depending on your requirement. So you can also specify the multiple URLs here. So first one you can see here google.com is used, that is the standard. Then if you want to go for Korean translator, then you can specify that URL also. And on the right hand side, you can see that we have used the detect method to detect the language of the text. But the problem with Google Translate is that it is unofficial and it is unstable, and there's a limit on the maximum character for a single text, that is the 15K. But if you want a more stable and official library, then you can directly go for Google's official Translate API. The next is the speech recognition. So it will help us to extract the text from the audio file. So it supports various search engines such as Google Speech Recognition, then Vid.ai, Google Cloud Speech API, Microsoft Bing Voice Recognition, IBM Speech to Text, and so on. Now this is a very again a small piece of code which will help us to extract the text from the audio file. So first you can install speech recognition library, then import the speech recognition module, then specify the file name from which you want to extract the information. Then initialize the recognizer by using sr.recognizer method. The next piece of code helps you to extract the text from the speech. And finally, it will print the text. And PyTestRect is another library. It's an optical character recognition tool for Python, that it will recognize and read the text embedded in the images. So it's a wrapper for Google's Tesseract OCR engine. So it can support or it can extract the information from JPEG image file, PNG image file, GIF image file, BMP, and other types of image files. So you just need 3 lines to extract the information from the image file. So first step, import the PyTesseract module. Then second step, set the path for Tesseract command. And in the third step, use the method image to string, which is from PyTesseract module, and specify the image path. The next is the beautiful soup. It will extract the information from a web page. So it's basically used for web scraping. So it sits on top of a HTML or XML parser and provides Pythonic idioms for iterating, searching, and modifying the parse tree. So you can see here in this piece of code, we are actually extracting the information from our web page. Okay. So first, import request module. It is required to make HTTP requests. Then import beautiful soup package. Then specify the URL from which you want to extract the information. So once you extract the information, specify the HTML parser. So if you want to deal with XML content, then you can specify XML parser. And then finally beautify the code. So using prettify method, and you can print the results. Next library is the Stanza library. It's a Python NLP package for many human languages. So it's a collection of accurate and efficient tools for many human languages in one place. And it performs operations such as syntactic analysis and entity recognition. And native Python implementation is available here. So if you're interested in coding with Java, there's a library available from Stanza. So Stanza is just a Python implementation, but there is something called as core NLP, and you can also go for Java, those who are interested in Java. So it supports full neural network pipeline for robust external analytics. and it includes tokenization, multi-word token expansion, lemmatization, part of speech tagging, and so on. Then pre-trained neural models are available, and it supports 66 human languages. And there is a live demo link here. You can try out that is stanza.run. You can put any paragraph of text, select your language, and you can see the results there. So online demo is very interesting tool. So you can see here, I have pasted a story in English and clicked on the submit button. So it has identified the part of speech, and it has identified the lemmas. It has also identified the named entity recognition, and it has finally performed universal dependencies. So same story I had converted to Hindi and performed NLP on Hindi text. So now you can see here again, it has identified the part of speech. It has identified the lemmas, but it has not identified named entity recognition. That means this feature is not yet supported. So this is the case with any NLP package if it is dealing with more than one human languages. So you can assume that this is an opportunity for you to implement this feature, and you can become a open source contributor. So universal dependencies is also available here. Next one is the INLTK for those who are interested only in performing Indic language NLP. So it's created by Gaurav Arora. Then it aims to provide out-of-the-box support for various NLP tasks. It supports native languages and also code mixed languages. So code mixed languages means you have text from two languages. So generally in India, we mix the words from English languages. So code mixed language feature is available. So you can see here, these are the languages supported. Of course, not all Indian languages are supported, but majority of the languages are supported. So Indian languages can be divided into two classes, Indo-Aryan and Dravidian. So you can see here Dravidian languages support all these features, most of these features. Then script conversions, transliteration and translations are available. So Indic NLP library is another library. If you don't want to use INLTK because it has got some installation issues sometimes, so in that case you can use the alternative library called as Indic NLP library, and it also supports similar functionalities. Polyglot is NLP pipeline that supports massive multilingual applications. So it's developed by Rami Al Rafu. Then it supports features you can see here, that tokenization, language detection, named entity recognition, part of speech tagging, sentiment analysis, word embeddings, morphological analysis, transliteration, and so on. But you can just note the number of languages which are specified in the brackets. So it is varying. So that means again here there is a lot of scope for you to develop features for your language in this library. So in summary, performing NLP tasks on multiple human languages at a time is hard, especially when the text modules include mixed languages. Then the information need to be extracted from multiple sources and multiple languages and should be converted to a common language. Then multilingual NLP helps to generate output in a target language. So there are various libraries offering different features, but not a single library that offers all features. Thank you everyone. If there are any questions, I can take up the same.